Totally.
We are back for another interview with one of my amazing, beautiful contributors in my self care for empaths giveaway. I love Amy Cheryl. She is with me and does a lot to help women reclaim their femininity. And she's got a gift today for you and I, coming home to your joyful, magical feminine and tending to your garden. And I'm curious what you mean by garden on that one, honey. Let me tell you a little bit about her first. So, Amy is a modern day medicine woman and her teachings liberate the internal prison of the mind, freeing women to live their life unapologetically. This has a ripple effect that heals humanity, and it is as a woman in her feminine essence that paves the way.
Mm.
And what does it pave the way to? Our freedom, our love, our success? What?
Are you asking?
A little bit everything.
Whatever, whatever the joy of the heart desires. We're
Mm-hmm.
co-creators of our universe. We're co-creators of our life. Many of us have just been sleeping and have forgotten who we truly are. So it's whatever you desire, and then co-creating that with coming into alignment with your soul, with healing the parts of you that could get in your way, the wounded parts, the fearful parts, the doubtful parts. We all know those parts, the resentful parts, the, comparison parts of us, the judgmental parts of us. That was a big one I need to heal, you know. Uh, and that's part of the journey too. So then we can be in the receptive state, which is our true state as a woman and really as human beings, especially though as a woman, because when a woman is awakened, all comes to her like magic because like frequency matches like frequency, right? And
Yep.
we are magic. Literally, we are the co-creators. We are co-creative energy. We were created from the spark of oneness. So we literally are that. We literally are God desiring, or whatever word you would want to use, consciousness, vast
Mm-hmm.
consciousness, like bigger than the intellect of the mind could ever understand. Yet, if any of this is landing for any of you that are listening, or for you, Tiffany, I know that this is a lot of like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love the reminders. Yeah, I'm on this path, right? And listening too, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we are here as instruments to contribute our contributions to the world, to be on Earth School so our soul can learn. This is our school for the soul, basically. Planet Earth is school for the soul. Yet those, right, and those that are resistant to being in school, that is inevitable if they're in a physical body. We can't escape being in school if we are a human being. We can't escape it. We can try. Even those that take themselves out of their human body and be, I'm out of here. Their soul's just gonna find and occupy another post body with personalities to can't escape Earth School, because the soul desires to evolve and the soul desires to learn and consciousness desires to expand. And the way in which that happens is through the manifestation of us as human beings.
Mm-hmm. And what started you on your spiritual journey?
Yes. I always go back to this moment. I remember the moment in time. So it was literally at this time that we are chatting, just about 2 decades ago, 20 years ago. What led me was I was a fitness chick. I didn't have awareness. Well, I had some awareness back then, but I didn't want to admit it to myself or nor to anyone else at the time. Um, that back then I attributed all of my self worth to seeking things outside of me or creating a way of looking, or basically what that looked like being a fitness chick. I had very low self value and didn't know it. And the decisions I made were fear-based. The decisions I made were coming from the parts of me that needed to feel valuable. And so I identified myself and found value based on whether men found me attractive, whether I had a six-pack or not, being a fitness chick and a competitive figure chick.
Mhm.
That it was all body-based, basically similar to that of being a model. And what I mean by that is the physical, not the
Yes.
who are we, right? And so I placed all my value outside of me and whether I was accepted or liked or all of that, right? And to fast forward 20 years ago, I was a year and a half after a breakup with a boyfriend, told myself I was fine. I,
Mhm.
I ended it, right? And I found myself as a health empowerment coach, right? I had my own business in personal training. I found myself down a slippery slope about a year and a half post breakup where I was consistently getting into someone to get over somebody. I was drinking, I was smoking cigarettes. And as a health professional, that's like my rock bottom. And I was just dating all the wrong kinds of men, dangerous men. And I was numbing myself with the unconscious heartache and pain that I had that went way before the ex-boyfriend, went back to child.
Mhm.
But I didn't want to admit it to myself because it was so painful. And I had that wake up call. And that wake up call was laying on the floor, fighting with an ex-convict who I was dating at the time, begging him to take me back because he broke up with me because I found out that he was lying to me and then did the gaslighting thing.
Oh boy.
And I fell prey to the narcissistic energy and all of that.
Mhm.
And that was a moment of like, I literally remember having a thought, wow, I don't think I'm fine. I actually think I'm really effed up. Like, I'm really effed up. Something's not right here. I'm sabotaging my life. And I realized I was the common denominator. And I, without even being fully aware of it in the way that I am now, I literally, unconsciously, consciously said, I'm done. I'm going to heal and I'm going to do whatever it takes. I put that stake in the ground energetically without even consciously knowing about energy. I didn't even know what a chakra was. I didn't even know what energy. I didn't even know what energy was back then. And that was the moment because it led me to my first therapist. That quickly led me to my first yoga class. That quickly led me within 3 weeks to my long-term 2-decade spiritual teacher. And
Mhm.
I entered her school of healing arts and esoteric anatomy and polarity therapy. And that just opened up the door really for my own healing, never having a thought in my mind in the moment that I'm here to awaken myself. I'm here to be molded to be a healing practitioner for others. Like that wasn't in my mental process at the time, yet my teacher always said to me, you are so highly intuitive and so gifted at this. You should be doing this for a living. When are you going to start doing this? And I'm just like, but
Nice.
at the time I had such confidence issues. I was like, well, I'll start doing it when I'm perfect.
And that can be a big stumbling block
Oh, yeah.
for anyone, right? If they're focused on external validation and trying to be perfect and don't have enough healthy self-esteem, then all those voices can just mess you up. So how did you get past the voices? What did you do?
I faced them. I faced my fear, the fearful parts of me, the wounded parts of me, the pained parts of me, head on. And I never turned back. Never turned back. I was fully committed. I kept doing the inner work. Okay, here's the answer. I got the clarity. What happened? How'd I do it?
Okay.
I made my inner work and my healing process, I made me and my healing the highest priority in my life.
Mhm.
I did.
Yeah.
I whatever it was, I never questioned it. I never negotiated myself ever again. And it doesn't mean that fear didn't meet me on a regular basis. I walked with the wounded part of my personality that showed up in doubt and worry and fear. For years, I had many painful life experiences that were very traumatic and struggles, all different sorts of struggles with men, with finances, all these things. And every single experience was my soul attracting that experience to help me meet a wounded part of me, because we can't be aligned with soul if they're two separate paths. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The part of us and the
Yeah.
whole
Mm-hmm.
process is aligning our fear is around,
And
our fear.
every time we get more aligned, an upgrade happens in life, personally and professionally. Times I've wanted to succeed at something, whether it was in my business or whether it was in my personal life. I was like, oh crap, I got to do more, more internal clearing and releasing so I can get aligned with this. Cause if I was aligned, I'd already manifest it, So there's definitely that alignment piece that is so, so important. And how do you help the women in your, as your clients? How do you help them get aligned?
Absolutely. I mean, of course, there are many modalities as far as support and teaching and all of that, right? Retreats, like all of the execution, so to speak, the offerings, the way the way in which it's delivered, right? And what it really is well, first of all, oops.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see you.
I was switching the screens.
Oh, thanks, sweetie.
For different views.
So I personally, I have cultivated it and continued to strengthen my intuitive skills. So I literally can feel and hear what the other person's soul is going through, like even before they say it. Like, so there's that piece that's really great, being a medium and having all of those skills. Yet it also is an education to help women understand how they became who they are in the moment where they don't want to be, and then how to get there. So it's all about the woman having the courage to say, you know what? I don't know what's possible for me. I haven't experienced it yet I know there's something more than what I'm living now. And it's the woman's choice to say, I'd like to learn about who I truly am. What does it mean to be in our feminine flow? What does it mean to be a magical woman? I've had so many women that will say, I don't even know what being in my authentic self means. I don't even know I've lived so long in my masculine or
Mm-hmm.
like, seeking for something like, who will I be without
Mm-hmm.
these things? And what I say to them is, what things you're talking about. And often I'll hear, the outside things or the person or the, whatever it may be. And what I say back to that is, who wouldn't you be if you keep on to that?
And your kitty echoes it.
I have three, and yes, they are so cosmic and intuitive. And yep, I knew who it was. That's my little Chloe. She brings the joy. She's here to help remind us of our joyful, playful selves, and she's playing around right now.
Yes. And you have an amazing gift that you are offering. I put it up on the screen right now. Tell us about your gift.
Absolutely. This is one of my favorites. So this is taken from, it's a segment, it's called Tending to Your Garden. And it's a segment it's a sneak peek. I pulled it from my Restore Your Joyful Magical Feminine program. And the reason being is when I was invited by you, thank you, to be a part of this, Self-Care for Empaths, I immediately got, this is the piece for the ladies listening with this theme. The reason being is that the Tending to Your Garden free gift literally are 13 ways of how to replenish yourself in an instant or within seconds, minutes. All of these tips, and there are 13 of them, all of these practices all take under 10 minutes, and they literally can take you, and I kid you not, in minutes. I practice these daily. These have all been birthed through me because I know they work, and I've worked with thousands of women that thank you. Oh my God, this is so simple. It works. So I kid you not that ladies, like, if you are ever feeling overwhelmed, or you're feeling any fear or worry or doubt, or you're feeling like that provoking energy, like you get triggered by somebody and like you want to make it about them, you find yourself losing your power, whether it's energy, mental chatter, emotional, angst, physical exhaustion, whatever it may be. This tending to your garden gift will provide you with 13 ways where you can literally turn that around and restore yourself. I kid you not, like, it works.
And what do you mean by garden? Because when I think of tending to your garden, I'm looking down, man. That's what I think of when I'm thinking of garden. And yet, and in a macro perspective, like, I'm the garden, and then in an external perspective, I'm like, oh, my organic garden in my front yard, you know. So what do you mean by garden?
That is not included in the free gift are tips for how to, do bikini waxing, swimming, that's in the free gift. It's all of it, like our garden is basically, the universe lives inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the seeds are inside of us, waiting to be shaken and then nurtured and nourished to blossom. And then we are nourished and restored, and then we can co-create anything we want, because we co-create from within, and then we bring it forth into the world. So as you mentioned, macro, I love that you said that, because micro is inside of us, and then whatever we are experiencing in the macro around us, outside of us, is a mirror of what's happening inside. So the garden is these 13 ways that literally would nourish the seeds in you, or nourish the plant in you, or nourish the blossomed rose with you, or maybe you have already blossomed a rose bush and it just needs a little watering inside of you. So this tip will like get you back up and, perky again. So it really is about, there is a Garden of Eden. We are the Garden of Eden, literally, inside of us. And it's up to us. It's up to us and our choice, with our actions and our intentions and our motivations being love-based or fear-based, whether we nourish our garden or whether we destroy our garden.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're not taking care of ourselves, we're destroying ourselves. It's no different than just like slaying a garden.
And if we're not taking care of ourselves, then we don't have capacity, or as much capacity, to help and contribute in the world, with our family, with our friends, with, in life. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to be self-care for empaths giveaway, because we got to start here and start within, and then things, can ripple out, and we can give more and be more. And I'm curious, like, what has inspired you to keep deepening and expanding on this journey?
Oh my God. Honestly, as if I wasn't going to be honest, having no expectation of, I want to get something out of being on this journey. Like, there was no expectation of, I'm doing this for the reward. It was more about, I'm doing this because the other way is less palatable for me. It feels worse to feel depressed. It feels worse to feel soul crushing. It feels worse to feel fearful than it does to face my pain and then get to experience pleasure. So it's kept me on the path. It's so effing worth it. Like, every excavation, every process piece has always, there's a reaping of rewards that just organically comes back to me a billionfold. I kid you not. I kid you not. And it makes life so easy. I don't think my way through life ever. And it's so refreshing and relaxing. I kid you not. I'm in a place in my life now, wasn't always, Worry does not exist for me at all. I don't even like, if ever I have a thought, if ever there's a thought that goes to, I need to figure it out, or, oh my God, it's going to happen, or immediately I'm like, ha! And then I'm like, and then I just, dissolve that away. So what keeps me on the path is how liberating and how joyful it provides life, and how easily I can manifest things now. And also how the capacity for me be able to support others and be able to fast track their healing. Like, it is fascinating as I continue to grow and
Mm-hmm.
own inner work. I have witnessed that literally what might have been still fast, but maybe 3 months of process work or 3 months of working with a client, literally now happens in 30 minutes with a client, because I
Nice.
take them there that much quicker, you know?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I could just, shift that frequency. It's just, so the reason I keep going is because, well, there's really, for me, there's no other choice. That's the journey. I've said, I've leaned into being in earth school. I've leaned into, becoming whole. I've leaned into life and the
Mm-hmm.
sacredness of life and all it has to offer. And then what continues to keep me going is then how who I keep becoming. Truly, truly, I'm seeing more and more how it really supports so many and so many others, and quicker, and not just them personally, but their relationships with others, which then literally is that ripple effect onto
Mm-hmm.
humanity. So it's just like, how could I not stay on this path? Like, what's the alternative? Contributing to destruction and ego and manipulation and control and fear and doubt and worry. It's a choice. I don't want to contribute to those ways of resentment and anger and feeding into, making it about the story or making people wrong. Like, it doesn't feel good. It's not
Mm-hmm.
what I want to be. So what keeps me on the path is my choice to be loved, to be loved, and to be kind, and to see that that is the energy that then offers the contribution of rebuilding and restoration and possibility. And that feels better to me.
Nice. And do you have one tip that you can give that will help ladies to tap into their joyful, magical, feminine self before we, end? I'd love to just see if
Oh,
you can give us a takeaway bonus gift.
yeah, I do. When you asked me, what I heard was trust yourself, ladies, and that's a whole nother ball of wax, because then this question is, well, how do I do that? I can teach you that. Yeah, what the takeaway that I'd like to give you, ladies, that can really help to restore you is the body scan. So what I mean by that is, whenever you be aware of what you are feeling in your body, especially when it's uncomfortable, start to, most of us are not in our body because it doesn't feel good. Or, we learned how to disassociate from childhood trauma. So what can help you to restore your joy is, we feel good when we're in our body and when our body's relaxed. And the way that you can restore that and bring yourself some joy in an instant is that whenever you feel tension in your body, first do the body scan. Start to breathe and just take a moment, take 1 minute, set your cell phone and take a minute and just breathe and be, okay, how am I feeling in my crown chakra? How am I feeling through my sixth chakra? You just take your body down each chakra, and you can Google chakras if you don't know what they are or where they are. And notice, do I feel any tension? Do I have any tightness? Do I have a stomach ache? Any of those things. And when you do, no story, no emotional attachment, no why is it coming up. Just keep breathing into that area of tension or discomfort, and keep breathing in love and trust and joy, love and trust and joy, until that discomfort dissolves, and it does in a matter of minutes. And just continue to do that throughout your body. And it's that simple, and it's a self restoration technique that we can do anywhere, anytime. And that's empowering. That's empowering.
Yes.
Never feel powerless to any circumstance, situation, or thing, when we remember how powerful we are and how we can restore ourselves no matter what's going on around us, even if someone's screaming at us. And
Mm.
not in our stomach. That's just us recognizing. And here's the thing, learn how to not personalize. Learn how to not personalize. If ever you find yourself saying, what did I do wrong? Or was this person?
Mhm.
If ever someone in front of you is not in a loving, kind, energetic interaction with you, or just in general, if you witness it,
Mhm.
be mindful. Notice if it affects you, and if it does, then do this body scan, because it's not about them. It means that it's activating fear in you, and you can shift your fearful, tighten parts of you that's literally squeeze out the
Mhm.
joy out of you by this body scan technique, and then restore yourself in an instant with love, trust, and joy. It's really very much.
Love, trust, and joy. It feels exquisite to me.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Amy, for letting me interview you. Thank you for giving your joy-filled, loving gift to help us get even more into our feminine, and you can pick up Amy's gift along with at least, 20 other people who are all heart-centered coaches and healers. And we have these offerings that we made just for you, and you can pick them up for free. So go to selfcareforempaths.org, use Amy's free gift link there, and we'll get you going with her gift as well as all. So thank you again. Much love and blessings.
so much love. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome.